Hey guys, Banana Luck here. Welcome back to another Watcher Rounds video. So we've done the video for Nurture. Now we are on to Erlang Shen, which is the ancient exclusive Arbiter Piercer Defender. But do not be fooled by the defender. This guy is not a defender by any means. He seems to be insane for anti-air, at least based on the testings that we've seen so far from Destin specifically. So, Erlang Shen is the Arbiter Piercer, not a Lord. He's a defender, he does piercing damage, which means that he's anti-air. And you can look at his range here, which will get there 2 extended tiles when he gets deployed in piercer mode. So you can see no extended range. Even if you max him out, he's gonna get this range by default. Stats wise, 22k HP, not very high for defender, to be honest. 4.8k attack is slightly higher than average, but not too crazy. 2.6 attacks and 2.6 seconds attack interval is pretty alright. But yeah, let's take a look at his talent now. Increases damage reduction by 15%. Every 4 basic attack, if there are at least 2 enemies within the ultimate range, summons Howling Celestial Dog to attack 1 enemy within the ultimate range, which is huge by the way, and deals 90% damage and continues to attack other enemies nearby the target, hitting up to 3 enemies target. Howling Celestial Dog inflicts defense reduction when attacking. So it's big, 30%. I think the only one that comes into comparison that I can think of right off the bat is actually Torador when it comes to this level of defense reduction. And bear in mind that this is every 4 basic attacks. You could probably get this up permanently once you build him with enough attack speed. I think a normal offensive build will actually get you there. So that's pretty neat. It just basically means that he gets that defense reduction no matter what. And then physical attack deals 100% AOE damage up to 5 enemy targets one time. Can target airborne units, same as Nurture. Both of these units are going to be able to hit air. And when maxed out, that's going to go to 120% damage. And then first passive, each time the Howling Celestial Dog attacks, increases the owner's damage by 5% for 3 seconds, stacking up to 3 times, which is a 15% damage total. During Third Eye state, which I'm guessing is the ultimate, talent attacks are triggered, summoning an enhanced Howling Celestial Dog to attack 1 enemy within the ultimate range. 120% damage in state and attacks up to 6 targets, and also prioritizes targets inflicted with Heaven's Gaze. Bear in mind, 120% is not upgraded. It goes up to 150% when you max this out. And then Heaven's Gaze, the Barrels is continuously inflicted with 10% vulnerability for both physical and magic damage. Invisibility is nullified during this effect. Interesting. I don't think we have any units that do this at the moment, so let's see where they're going to make this mandatory so that everyone without Erlang Shen is going to be crying. And then the very last passive before we get into the ultimate, which this first passive seems to tie in a lot with, increases damage dealt to airborne units by 35% when talent attacks are triggered, restores 15% HP, so some form of durability there, but nothing too crazy. And then Bond skill, I think this is better than Nurture's. Heaven's Gaze, which I believe is the ultimate, the target goes up by 2, and then enemies inflicted with Heaven's Gaze deals 20% less damage to Erlang Shen himself. And then because it's an Arbiter, he gets an Arena buff, and that's going to be a 5 cost reduction, bring him down to 14, which is also one of the reasons why he's looking pretty insane at the moment in Anti-Air Arena, because Erlang Shen is going to be even cheaper than Alex, and it looks like potentially he could solo quite a few waves at the start. And then on to his ultimate, last but not least. Third Eye, it's a pretty low cost ultimate at 500. The base cost is at 300. It lasts for 20 seconds at max level, inflicts Heaven's Gaze up to 3 enemy targets in range, and this target is going to be inflicted with 20% vulnerability for both physical and magic damage, and it increases max HP by 20% as well as attack. Each basic attack alternately deals 20% extra damage, or inflicts 1 stack of Radiant Erosion. Does the extra damage go up? No, but it does. Okay, but there is Radiant Erosion. Not sure how helpful it is, to be honest, because Radiant Erosion doesn't really do much in short battles like in Arena. It's more for long battles. But nice to see another unit with inbuilt Radiant Erosion that doesn't rely on RNG. So I think the big thing about this is that range. Look at that. I think that's even bigger than Fuzzy's range. I think it's 1 tile more forward. If you remove that, I think it's going to be the same as Fuzzy's range. And at a cost of 500, it is super duper low. So there's a high chance that you could probably get this up every single wave in the later parts of Anti-Air Arena if you actually build him well enough for that. So yeah, honestly, stats-wise and damage-wise, it doesn't look too crazy, but when you start adding the multipliers together with the defense reduction, vulnerability on the ultimate, as well as the airborne damage increased by 35%, understandable why he starts stacking up in terms of damage, but we will have to see whether he pairs up well with Arbiter teams, because right now in the anti-air teams, the Arbiters are going to about 600 over KBP, and with that low of a stats that we have right here, we're not sure whether he'll pair up well, whether he will do well even then, because yeah, his stats just don't match up there. And it's not like Nurture where there's some inbuilt, defense ignore. And onto his awakenings, during third eye, when an enemy is eliminated within the ultimate range, restores 20 rage and can restore up to 300 rage per third eye activation. So I think this is going to be a huge awakening in keeping the ultimates up long enough. 300 rage when you finish it is basically going to be like 1 or maybe like 5 more seconds before he gets the second one up again. And then A2 flat attack, nice for a unit like him. A3, hero deals an extra 20% damage to targets inflicted with Radiant Erosion, pairs really well with the ultimate. And then when enhanced Howling Celestial Dog attacks, additionally inflicts slow. I don't think this is as big as the first bit of the awakening here. And then A4, extra HP, rather odd, but do bear in mind that this guy is a defender at the end of the day. And then A5, when taking fatal damage for the first time, gains Unyielding. And this Unyielding lasts for 8 seconds. Receive healing increases by 50% during this effect and can be triggered 1 time per deployment. So great news is that A3 is going to be the best awakening for him. A1 is more utility when we talk about Arena. But beyond that, I don't think you really need to go after his A5, similar to Nurture, because the Unyielding is just not going to be as handy as we think of it to be. But yeah, that's the unit. The thing about him is that you don't really see much use for him at the moment, but that in this strip on Heaven's Gaze is interesting. Not sure where they will actually make it a must-have. It does last for 20 seconds, which is a pretty long time. And you have to bear in mind as well that he has a pretty alright range. He has anti-air capabilities, so he might be useful in some areas of GVG as well, depending on the map. And also coupled with the fact that there is defense reduction in the mix, I think he is pretty alright for a unit, but just may not live up to the expectations of what people are having right now when it comes to Arena usefulness, especially with how high the BP goes. But given that Diao Chan is in the mix for most Arena teams, that could change when you pair that up together. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comment section below. He is gonna be paired with Nestia, which is an amazing lot to have. If you have Nestia, Vaughn, as well as Numera, which is also on this banner, you can pretty much be guaranteed that you will clear all the magic shields in Abyss at the moment. So it's a very nice banner, especially if you don't have both of these units. Problem for me is that we have Nestia already at A0. We want Erlang Shen for the AOE, the Anti-Air Arena potential. So yeah, we are 130 into PD. We will definitely get 70 summons by the end of it. So yeah, we will definitely hit PD. So not sure how well that sits with us, but yeah, that is what it is. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comment section below. I am also probably going to do a pool party this weekend. Links will be in the description below. If you're interested, do sign up. And yeah, that's going to be it for the video. See you in the next one. Goodbye.